need to play another game here. Let me
Probably be my last sub. Thanks for the 15 months of entertainment.
Thanks, Isayu. I'm gonna miss you, man. I'm gonna have to keep it down a little bit. I got a little excited at the end of that game. Yeah.
Did you win that game?
I did.
Nice.
Yes.
So we just watched the game.
Dude, that was such a stupid game. Holy shit. Okay. So, here's the plan, guys. We're back. I'm going to take this game to 5 wins. Real casual, like. This deck is just a winner. We queued into some double Zeus nonsense. That Selim, the Incarnation. If he doesn't have Incarnation there, Incarnation Ogre Thunder Gods, that game ends on like turn 4. Why don't you play Keeper Draft? I could play Keeper Draft. Some people are saying it's like better for getting the cards you want or something like that. It might be, especially if people are kind of like bad at picking cards. But honestly, I really don't like the idea of just like the poor incentivize it. The poor incentivizes it creates. Yo, thanks for the sub, Alk47. Are you sipping on Monster? Yes. Yes, I am. Yo, where is everyone? Where's this match here? How do you set yourself to anonymous? We're gonna try to keep it a little more beginner friendly next time. So, real quick, raise of hands. How many of you guys, for that last game, were generally like very confused at like what was happening, like what everything did? How many of you guys would like me to just kind of like slow it down more, explain like basics? How many of you guys were kind of like more comfortable with, you know, how that exactly went? Because I assume a lot of you guys were not sure on like what all the cards did. It's really hard, kind of try-harding and, you know, trying to kind of explain more advanced strategy when I have to kind of slow it down for the basic stuff. I think the most important thing is to try to find a balance in between. I understood that it was a lot of RNG. Oh, that's good. That's pretty much all you needed to understand. You always are up forever anyway. Yeah, I like to give my viewers time to, you know, tab out, check the wiki, figure out what all the cards are doing. That's just the kind of considerate streamer I am. Yo, here we go. Finally. Game up. Okay. Pretty passive turn 1 play. Okay. So while I'm kind of going over basics, let's make this beginner friendly properly. Let's explain what's happening. So, a very passive opener here. 6 heroes just jam against each other. We got the Enchantress into the Ursa, which is something we're pretty unhappy about. But we got 2 Selfish Clerics in hand. So deployments. Deployments are going to be some of the most skill-intensive things in Artifact. First thing, decide where the Debbie is going. Debbie is going into the Treant lane. That's a pretty obvious choice. Trades very, very favorably with that Treant. And I don't really have anything I can actually do about that. Especially because this creep is guaranteed in front of the Bristle, which means if I don't place the Venno here, the Debbie is guaranteed in front of my Treant, which is something that makes me kind of sad. The Venomancer basically wants to go onto a lane that I am losing, but that also will be able to survive. And the obvious choice is right lane here. So Debbie goes mid, Venno goes right. Really? So even if he called me going right with Venno, I'm not sure that that's correct, because there's a good chance it doesn't spawn into the Venno. Okay, it did. And depending on like my tools and options, I might even be able to keep the Venno alive, because keep in mind it does have the armor from the Treant. Now, in this case, I don't have anything that can keep the Venno alive. Standard bear. We have to drop a cleric here. Really no other option. The question is, would we rather curve into this creep or the Ursa? It's not as obvious as it might seem. Killing the Ursa compared to killing potentially a 6/4 buff target creep. The creep is pretty valuable.
15 seconds remaining.
I don't think I really need gold that much here.
Your kindness is an example to all enchanters. Well, not me, but most. Don't worry. At least I won't be dead.
So we'll probably just take the other selfish cleric here. Play it over on the left side of the tree as opposed to going for the curve. So there's two options here. You could go for the 25% chance to curve into the bristle, which honestly doesn't even do anything. Or you could just develop it into the aura like a good boy. That's just an easy play. Bristle is one of the scariest heroes in the game. Basically, it's going to prevent us from ever really playing anything on this lane. Like, we're never really going to be able to play the Meepo on this lane because of it, and we're fine with that. This is not really that great value for Simeoval Armor Smith. And this is basically the best Sow Venom you're ever going to get. Whenever you can Sow Venom, it's very rare that you're going to be able to Sow Venom in a situation where the Plague Wards will A, survive, and B, actually start fending off a lane. Because if you're ahead in a lane, you know, typically they're not really going to do anything. They're going to do what they did last game, which is punch tower for like 11 turns in a row with their little squishy one-attack bodies. And that's not going to accomplish anything. Here, they're actually doing their job. They're staying alive for a turn on these melee creeps, which is all I ever really want from them. Now we're going to abandon right, and these Plague Wards are going to slow it down enough that it's just totally safe to abandon that lane. That's a really powerful abandon by us. Meepo is something we obviously want to keep alive. This is going to be very difficult for us to accomplish. This is going to be impossible for us to accomplish. This Meepo is dead on board. Dead on arrival. I mean, sometimes it just goes right into his big, beefy red boy. We're good, though. Risk blessing. Okay, 2 divided B stance. Feels pretty good. I mean, I say that. It doesn't really feel that good, but, I mean, I can hope.
Let the arrows fall.
So, Mist Right makes this no longer a fully abandonable lane. Meepo left. If it spawns into Drow on the poof, that's really, really bad for me. Meepo left is okay. It's very risky. So, slight overcommitment mid, but we can pull the Meepos out to the Venomancer lane. By casting Divided, we stand on the Venomancer lane and then poofing the Meepos out there. We're probably going to want to fight for left at this point. I mean, right's still a fair abandon. It has Mist, which is very scary. Dude, abandoning Mist feels pretty terrible whenever it happens. So he's behind the clock on here. He's not going to be able to kill this tower until 6. So there's 2 lines of play. Hyper aggressive, basically just abandon right, take left easy. Reasonably speaking, the better play is probably deploy Venomancer right and Thunderstorm. It's been like 12. It's okay, I got man himself, I remember. Okay, so we have Traveler's Cloak and TP Scroll. TP Scroll is actually fairly good here. Cloak is kind of necessary for Meepo though. Meepos can poof anyway. I think I can't decline the cloak here. So the biggest question is how defensible is right? Because right, it's a very powerful Thunderstorm, right? On this lane. It wipes everything except for the Magnus. The problem is I need initiative, otherwise it might not even kill the Riley. And if I don't spawn into the Magnus with the Veno or the melee creep, he's still punching my tower for 9 plus whatever he plays, often in power, which means the tower is just going to die anyway. And if that happens after committing like Thunderstorm, that feels very bad.
15 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Let's do it. I'm in. Savich removed his tweets critical of the game. Did he? So we're just going all in here. This is a fine all in. Killing the Drow right off the bat will really reduce his clock on the right lane. it might mean he could be unable to take right lane on a clock of 2 after killing this tower, which he needs to be able to do. Realistically speaking, though, I mean, he should be able to kill this in 2 turns after taking this tower, which basically gives us 3 turns to kill left to win the game. We're already dealing 12 to it, and red is not a good defending color, so feels pretty good. This is kind of a very ballsy play, but the situation demands it, basically. At this point, I value a preemptive cloak on Vina more than cloaking Meepo, honestly.
My children will be able to.
It's pretty disappointing that most people who have played Artifact don't enjoy it. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I didn't enjoy Artifact at first either. The economy is still like a huge problem, I feel. I'm really concerned about how they're gonna really like deal with that. I'm sure they'll do something. I'm not sure exactly what they're planning. Could just Remusk here.
15 seconds remaining.
Could see what he does first as well.
Sure.
So it looks like he's just got a really bad situation with both of his heroes just stuck in the right lane. He needs a TP scroll here. Do you have tips for beginners on how to avoid playing Artifact? Yeah, for sure. I mean, you're definitely going to have to start with like getting some kind of job, like if you want to be able to kind of play this game. That's going to be a turnoff for a lot of players. Because like for me, for example, like I play games because I don't really want to get a job. This is actually why I'm a streamer too. Like, this isn't really a real job. Some people call it a job. Like, it's a job in the most technical sense. I don't know. None of us want to get jobs. And that's going to be a problem. Because if you don't have a job, you might not be able to afford this game depending on how exactly they fix the economy. I don't know. I think the most important thing to keep in mind, I can almost guarantee you guys right now, I can almost guarantee you they will make some adjustments to the economy. I don't know what they will be. I don't know if they will be major enough to kind of satisfy what a lot of people want, right? For example, maybe they will do something like give you a free draft ticket every day that you can play like 1 free draft a day or something like that, which would satisfy a good amount of people, but not everyone, because a lot of people still want to be able to play constructed, which is more expensive. Or maybe they'll do something much more minor, like just make starter heroes not available from packs. I don't know. They'll change something. I'm just not sure if it'll necessarily be enough. This just looks like a really good position to be in, honestly. Skill-based card game. So we can just we can Remusk here. Remusk here feels basically fine, right?
When this war is long forgotten,
Because we can also go ahead and just curve this out with something like an Arcane Assault. Kills the tower and steals back initiative if we want. I think it's probably more useful saving for right though. Cheating death could actually be relevant. The problem is he could put up enough of a wall mid that I do need to save Arcane Assault for it.
15 seconds remaining.
The 2 damage has a harder time making a difference. I think it's safe to just use Assault here. Right now, my lose condition is just not being able to punch through mid. Sanctum is a pretty good draw. Guys just win Artifact TI to play for Artifacts? Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing. Like, the game is expensive, but when you really think about it, like, the person who wins the TI and wins $1 million, he's going to be able to afford a lot of Artifact. I don't know. Again, I'm just going to stress, like, keep in mind, I am almost sure that they will change something. So let's wait and see what exactly they decide to do. And then maybe if at that point, like, it's not enough, then we can maybe complain about it not being enough. I'm sure they'll change something. They have to. There's no way they don't. It might end up being minor, and then we might complain because it's not enough, but there's no way they're not going to change anything, I think. Okay, so that game was basically a good demonstration of how deployments in Artifact work. We won the game just off of Stranding 2 heroes. So for a lot of you guys who watch me from Gwent, in Gwent, there's this kind of underlying win condition almost, which is in Gwent, you kind of win the game. Well, Old Gwent. I'm not talking about Homecoming. In Old Gwent, there's this like hidden rule, which is if you have one extra card in round 3, you basically win. It's not always true. There are some rare exceptions, but it is almost a win condition in and of itself in Gwent to go one card up into round 3, right? You can do this by securing card advantage in early rounds in a lot of different ways. In Artifact, there's actually kind of a similar underlying rule. They're very similar games because in Artifact you're also trying to win 2 out of 3 of things. And in Artifact, the rule is more so in Draft, if you can strand 2 heroes in a lane where you're playing no heroes, if you can force a situation where your opponent has 2 heroes dead in a lane and you 5v3 the other 2 lanes, you do pretty much win the game. Now, this is fairly exclusive to Draft just because Blink Daggers exist in Constructed, and they kind of prevent this from working very well. But that's basically what happened that game. He committed into a lane. I ducked out of that lane, stranded 2 heroes, and just won the game off of that. It was kind of a risky play because he had Mist of Avernus. Mist is really scary, but he was playing for right, so we had 1 full turn to take mid, even if we needed 1 more turn.